Hey, welcome to the asylum. I'm really excited today because I've got Phil and Paul here, and they are horror fans just like I am. So we're going to talk about some horror. I wanted to share with everybody. I've recently had the chance to do some binge watching of horror, and I wanted to find good ones because on Netflix and even on demand, it's like hit or miss. Like you can pick one and it could like suck majorly. I mean, it could be a major piece of shit. Um, but when you pick through them, you can find some hidden gems that you never would have thought of. Some that are low budget, some that went straight to video. They don't all suck. All those low budget straight to video. And I found some good ones, and I have to thank YouTube for that. Various channels recommended things that were really good horror films on Netflix, and I focused on the ones that multiple sites, different people suggested the same ones. And you know what? I wasn't disappointed. And I wanted to share some of those with you in case you might be bored or you might be wanting to sink your teeth into some good scary movies or just well done chillers. I wanted to share these with you.
What you got?
I know how hard it is and how frustrating it is to find the good ones. Am I right?
Yeah, it's true.
So, oh, and by the way, before I get started on that, by accident last night, total accident, I found on demand A&E Arts and Entertainment Channel. I don't know how I missed this. It was a series that was on in March, the first season. So I got to catch up on it. I watched the first episode. But there is a series called Damien. And we're talking Damien from The Omen.
They turned that into a TV show?
Oh, yes. And
Damn.
what it is, okay, is like it takes place between The Omen 2 and then the final conflict.
Oh, so it's during his teenage years?
No,
All leading up to...
it's
No?
during his 30s.
Ah, right.
They've used footage from The Omen. Not Omen 2 yet, but they've used footage from The Omen.
Right.
And he is totally unaware, at least at the beginning of the show, he's totally unaware of who he is and what's going on. Okay? And he's actually a very, nice person.
Right.
He saves some people. I turned to my husband and I said, "Oh, look, the son of Satan. He's a good guy."
There's something you don't hear every day.
I know. But I don't think he's going to be a good guy for much longer. I don't know. I'll have to, keep watching. But it was pretty good. He's figuring out his identity and all this creepiness is going on around him. And let me tell you something, people. The opening montage is fantastic. You need to see Google it, because it is fantastic. All the imagery, the creepiness, it's great.
Check it out.
Especially the damn black dogs. Oh.
Ooh, yeah, I remember those from the Omen films. Mean sons of bitches.
Yeah, those nasty things.
Yeah. I remember that scene from the Omen 3 where they're doing that fox hunting thing and you've got all those dogs and that guy's like sitting there thinking, oh shit, it's Damon. He just goes, take them. And then the dogs just have lunch.
That scene was brutal.
Well, you know what? There's a brutal scene for TV, for regular television. There's a brutal scene involving dogs, too, on this one. So I don't want to ruin it, but you guys, trust me, you need to check this out. And,
All right.
I was like, they even have this music, the Damien music. Remember that music?
Yeah, I remember actually hearing it on one of my on one of the channels I saw on YouTube. That was actually pretty cool. But every time, I remember this other time they did use the Omen theme at one of the metal concerts that I went to see in 2010, and I just thought that's a pretty good way to start a show.
That's creepy shit, though. That music is enough to scare the shit out of anybody without anything else happening. Or maybe that's just because when I saw The Omen 2, it was so freaky, and the death scenes were so horrible, and that's where they played that music.
Funny thing is, The Omen 2 is actually the first Omen movie I ever saw. I was about 8 when I first saw that.
That disturbed me. Did it disturb you? Because it disturbed me.
Not really.
Oh, it disturbed me big time.
I think the only bit that caught me off guard was the poor bastard who gets sliced up in the elevator.
I was thinking of that scene. It always stands out.
I don't remember that scene. What I remember is the guy under the ice, and that made me sick.
Oh, man.
I felt so terrified, and that was just so disturbing. Oh,
I think the most disturbing kill on there for me would have to be where that woman getting her eyes picked up by that crow and then she gets road killed by the truck.
oh, I was just thinking of that. Yeah, that was awful too.
Yeah.
So when that music started playing in the first episode of Damien that I watched, I was like, uh-oh, somebody's going to die horribly.
You know it when you hear that music playing, you know bad shit's going to happen.
Yes. So I want to recommend Damien. Check it out. I mean, hey, who knows? It could suck after the first episode. I'm going to binge watch it. There's 10 episodes, but the first one was decent. Now, don't get me wrong. There are other horror movies, horror series that I have liked better that I've been watching, but this is just the first one of Damien, and they're just trying to build up the storyline, so it might, get even better.
Never know.
Fingers crossed it could make up for the 1995 Omen series.
Oh, yeah.
Series already?
Because that was terrible, apparently. I think it didn't even get past the pilot episode.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can look that up. I'll be right back.
I think the problem with the 90s one was instead of it being about Damien, the Omen show was going to just be about any old random supernatural phenomenon.
Oh, fuck that.
That's why I don't think it lasted very long.
Yeah, they did that all the time in the 90s with shows, like Poltergeist, that show Poltergeist, Friday the 13th, they had nothing to do with the...
It was just name only.
You know what, though? I do have to say that back when I was in college, I saw The Omen 4, The Awakening, and it was with a girl.
Oh, that movie was a little shit.
That was scary. I thought it was scary. I liked it.
I know some people liked it, but I didn't go much on that one because to me, I felt that the series came to a close after part 3. I don't know why they even continued with the 4th movie.
Yeah, because Jesus won in part 3, right? So it was over.
Oh, pretty much.
But yeah, so I wanted to share that with everybody. So now let's get into the horror we can sink our teeth into on Netflix. All right, so the first one that I watched was called Hush. And what it was about was a deaf lady. She's an author, and she wanted isolation. She had become deaf when she was 13, and she was a best-selling author, but she was having writer's block with her next book. So she was out at this secluded cabin. There was one neighbor, a couple, that came to visit her. But other than that, she was completely isolated. And may I repeat, she was deaf. Okay. Now, isn't that about a bitch to be deaf? When a psychotic killer decides to trap you inside your house and play games with you, and he plans on killing you, he's just playing with you first. Isn't that about a bitch to be deaf?
Yeah, totally.
Really would.
And it really, really added to the suspense. I mean, it was creepy and well done, and at times the way they did it was they made it so you couldn't hear either. But all you could do was just see what was going on. And it's it was so frustrating. He's right there, and she doesn't know it because she can't hear shit. And it was so frustrating. And I felt like they really made you root for her, and it was never boring. It was never boring. And that killer, that crazy guy, was so hateful that you were just go, lady, go. You know what I mean? And you were wishing for him to have a horrible death because he was that bad. So it's really one of those typical movies where somebody's trapped by a psychotic and, being hunted and stuff. But with a twist. And I mean, I know that that's not that much of a twist, but when you really think about it, the person can't hear. The situation that they're in is pretty dire. I mean, it would have been dire to begin with, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they did it well enough that it really kept my interest the whole way through. And it's one of those ones, where you can't help but talk to the movie. You're like talking to it.
Yeah.
I've seen a few like that.
No, bitch! That's a dumb decision.
Yeah, it's like there's moments in the film where you think, okay, get out that way, and then the person goes a complete other way, and you're like, what are you bloody doing? Get that way! He's waiting for you in there, you dumbass!
Exactly. And I'd like look at my husband and go, why'd she do that? Why did she do that? He'd go, just calm down.
Yeah, I guess it's basic horror movie 101.
It's good. It is good. Okay, so Hush, that's one of them. And it's on Netflix. You can get it streaming, free. Well, not really free. You have to pay for the streaming.
Oh, yeah.
It's like not that expensive. I mean, you figure you can watch unlimited movies for only $8 a month.
It's not bad.
No, it really, really isn't. And, okay, so the next one. It's called We Are Still Here. And see, what I don't get is don't go... Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes when Netflix gives it 1 star, they're absolutely correct. But I think that just in general, people don't care for horror, so Netflix automatically gives every single damn horror film 1 star. Because sometimes there are some real gems that only have 1 star.
Yeah.
So don't go by the ratings. What you should do is do what I did, okay? So you don't waste your time on shit. Go look on YouTube for suggestions from everybody you can and see what you think sounds like is worth your time and effort.
Sometimes you can find these movies on YouTube as a full movie, so if I can find them, sometimes I'll watch them on there first, and if I like it, then I'll probably end up buying the DVD of it or something,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's a good idea.
I mean, that's how I found this one film called Re-Kill, which I'll get into later on.
Oh, I saw that. When I hear about that, I might decide to watch that, depending on what you say. Because I saw that. That's available on Netflix.
Yeah.
And Netflix has things available that you might have never heard of on demand or on cable or on, HBO and all that. So that's good, too. Okay, so this next one, We Are Still Here. It stars 2 people that were in the awesome movie, You're Next. I don't know if any of you have seen You're Next.
I've seen it.
Damn.
I went to see that in the cinema the day it was out. It was a pretty cool movie.
What was good about that is that they had a female lead who was strong and tough, and you could really root for her, and she wasn't a bitch in the process. Because sometimes they make the lead females like that a bitch. She's kind of arrogant and thinks she's better than all the men and like talk shit to everybody, but not this person. So that's what I really liked about her. She was endearing. It's like she was there in that situation and she had to do what she had to do.
Well, she handled it pretty good, I know that.
Oh, she sure as heck did, especially the blender scene.
Yeah, that was crazy. Just seeing that poor guy's head just getting fucking stuck in that blender, and she just hits the on switch, and that was it.
But that's
scrambled brains.
That's nothing compared to the badassery that you'll see in You Are Still Here. It reunites 2 people from You're Next. The guy that had a small part that was like the neighbor that got killed right away, and Barbara Crampton. And Barbara Crampton, she is in a lot of horror films. She used to be in some soap operas, Young and the Restless, Days of Our Lives.
She was on Reanimator as well.
Oh, yes, she was, and she was also in that other one. What was that one? They did the pineal gland. It came out, and they could see other dimensions.
From Beyond.
Yes.
Yeah, that was it. From Beyond.
She was in that too, and a whole shitload of other horror films. So this one, it's low budget. Okay, probably nobody's ever heard of it until now. I do not want to give away the story. You really need to see it. It is not your typical. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything, okay? It's got elements of Cabin in the Woods, elements of those movies where the people in the town are sinister, elements of ghosts. And let me tell you, the creatures for low budget, when they pop out, they're pretty scary. But there's 2 scenes in that movie that are awesome when it comes to gore. And usually I think overdone gore is just stupid, but this was like, I was like, yeah, I was applauding because it looked good and it was just so incredibly awesome. I've never seen scenes like that before. Just done like
check this one out.
Just done so well. I mean, splatter. And you could believe that it happened. Like sometimes when you watch a movie, the gore is just for gore's sake and it's stupid and you know it could never happen that way. But this wasn't. And the story was good. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It's one of those, you have to be patient though because they focus on atmosphere first.
Yeah, it's a slow burner before it goes up to the chaos.
Yeah.
Those kind of films.
Because again, my husband, I keep bringing him up, I know, but he was complaining through the first, 20 minutes of the movie. He was like, do we really need to see another picture of the countryside? Do we really need to see that house again? He's like, come on, get going. He's one of those people, okay? But yeah. I really got into it. I really liked it. And he ended up liking it, too. He's just impatient. And it's good. I mean, that story really drew me in. It doesn't look like one of your big budget type of films, but I think it could win an award. You know those horror awards? I think that it could be up for an award. That's how good it was.
Might get the Fangoria ones.
And it had a story. See, that's the key. That's what I want to focus on, is it wasn't just all splatter, splatter, splatter. It had a good story. And it really, the end of it really makes you think. It was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was called We Are Still Here.
All right.
Then there was another one called Starry Eyes. Okay. Now, Starry Eyes is one of your satanic things. It's basically, she's a struggling actress, and she meets up with these people. She auditions, and she joins up with them, and then, it goes all downhill from there. And she changes, she transforms into something because of this, cult-like group of movie makers. And I know that sounds really, really strange, but trust me, give it a try. It's creepy. It's well acted. Some really gross scenes in there, too. And it's like a feeling of dread builds up inside you.
Okay. Might have heard of that one, I think. Go on, Phil.
It sounds weird.
It is weird, but it draws you in. It's like I was mesmerized while I was watching it. And a little bit of trivia. Gene Simmons of Kiss, his son, has a cameo appearance in it. Nick Simmons.
Really?
Yeah, Nick Simmons.
Oh, yeah?
We were like, great, is that? And then we rewound it, and it was him, lo and behold.
Sounds pretty cool. Makes sense, because Gene Simmons was in a horror movie back in the 80s called Trick or Treat, so...
I liked that movie back then. Now I probably wouldn't like it so much, but back then I liked that.
That film's a classic for me.
Also in an 80s action film as well called Wanted Dead or Alive, where he plays a Arabian terrorist.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. That one had Rutger Hauer in it, right?
That's it, Rutger Hauer, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget Runaway.
Oh yeah, that one too.
Delic.
Oh yeah, Michael Crichton's Runaway.
Since he's had his plastic surgery, though, Gene Simmons doesn't look as sinister. He looks like a happy, lovable guy now after his plastic surgery. But like when he was in Wanted Dead or Alive and Runaway and all that, he looked like a sinister creep.
True that.
So the last movie, I saved the best for last. I saw this last night, and it was chilling. It was incredible. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. I watched it the whole way through, nonstop. I stayed up until like all hours of the morning watching it. It's called The Sacrament, and it's one of those found footage films, but it's about a cult. And the cult is in the middle of nowhere. You can only get to it by helicopter. And this fashion photographer is worried about his sister because his sister sent him a letter, and he finds out that she's moved there with these people. So he gets this journalist and this photographer interested, filmer, and they're coming along with him to film it all. And you could just feel that there's something wrong. Like, there's tension. You can feel it. And you know something is just totally wrong. Even though, like, nothing really technically at first is happening, you know something is very wrong. And then slowly but surely you see just how wrong it is. And the final scene is just, oh my God, I will not forget it. As a matter of fact, I dreamed about it when I slept.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this much so you'll know. It takes elements of the Jonestown Massacre. It's fiction, but it takes elements of that, and then adds other storylines to it.
Mm-hmm.
That scene, and they draw it out. They draw the scene at the end out. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to ruin it. I'm sure you can guess. But even if you guess what I'm getting at, when you see that scene, it's horrible. I mean, it's more horrific than you could ever imagine. And you won't be able to take your eyes away.
Cool.
And the people that are trapped there with these people, the journalist and the photographer and filmmaker, I mean, they're in a lot of trouble. And you're like really rooting for them. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I recommend that. It's called The Sacrament. And the guy, Gene Jones, that plays Father, he really does a good job.
Oh, I got that. I managed to find that at Poundland a few months back for £1. I need to watch that.
I'm going to have to check this one out if I can find it on Amazon or something.
That should be the first one you all see out of all the ones that I recommended is The Sacrament. And I plan on watching more. I mean, I have a huge list. I'm just going to throw out some names of things that I plan on watching, and then you guys will be up. I plan on watching Jezebel, Casadega, Charlie's Farm, Amityville: The Awakening, It Follows, The Stranger Inside, Haunt, Husk, Bereavement, Troll Hunter, and Skinwalker Ranch. A lot of people love Troll Hunter.
I've seen Husk, and I've seen Charlie's Farm and Bereavement. I've seen those films.
Well, you'll have to let us know what you think of them.
Oh, I will. Charlie's Farm is like a slasher movie that's from Australia, and Nathan Jones is playing the killer in it, and it has a few cameo appearances in there. It's got Kane Hodder in there, and Bill Moseley's in it too.
Oh wow, I'm sold.
Husk,
Bill Moseley.
Yep, and Kane Hodder. Husk is well, I didn't realize this was a remake, but I found out Husk was actually a remake of an 80s horror movie called Scarecrows.
Oh.
I've heard of that.
And it's actually better than the original movie. It was way more suspenseful in how they did it.
I need to see that.
You gotta check that one out, Bill. That's a pretty good film. I got that film a few years back. I might actually revisit that one again.
Hey, before you guys have the floor, though, one more thing. I saw The Boy. And The Boy is good. And it's one of those films where it's like you think you're watching one thing and then you find out that it's not at all that. It's something totally different, and you're going to be like, oh, wow, you know?
Is that film that's got one of the cast members from The Walking Dead on it?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I was thinking about checking that one out when it comes out on DVD because I heard some good stuff about that film.
It is good. And if you like that, I highly recommend this one on Netflix called Housebound.
I think that name might ring a bell.
Okay, you guys, you're up. Let's hear from you.
I'll go first, I guess. Um, well, as far as horror movies, new ones go, I haven't seen any new ones very much lately. I've seen like maybe two or three that I've seen recently, but I might recommend a few old ones and some other ones that's upcoming. One film I did see recently back in May was this film called Green Room. If you guys haven't seen that film, you really should check it out. It's actually a pretty good standoff siege slash horror movie type deal. It's got Patrick Stewart in it as well, and he's playing the villain in this. But basically, the story is that you got this punk. Yeah, he's the villain in this, and he plays a pretty sadistic, evil bastard in this one. But anyway, on the story, Green Room is about this punk rock band who are trying to get their music out there, and they get a notice about playing at one of these venues, and this venue happens to be a nightclub out in the middle of the woods. And when they realize when they get there is that this nightclub is actually owned by a bunch of neo-Nazi skinheads. And I guess as a joke, they ended up playing a song by Dead Kennedys called "Nazi Punks Fuck Off," which pissed the fans off. But then they played some of their own stuff, which got the fans on their side. But when they went back to the green room after they finished their set, they accidentally run into a murder scene because one of the skinheads has killed this woman. They just find this woman laying there dead with a knife sticking out of her head. So they get held against their will to stay there. And then when the boss shows up, the nightclub owner, which is played by Patrick Stewart, he basically says, okay, they've witnessed what's going on. We're going to have to kill them. So it's basically a fight for survival between the punk band members and the skinheads that are trying to kill them. The movie's really well acted. And there's very good suspenseful moments in there, and the violence, holy shit. Like, the camera never shies away from the violence. There's some pretty graphic shit that goes on in there. I mean, you see a guy whose arm is severely cut so bad it's almost to the point where his hand's almost ready to fall off.
Sounds really good. Once with
Yes.
what was that film called? 127 Hours. That fucking hand scene. Oh man, that was cringing,
Yeah.
dude.
This sounds
That
really
movie was.
good.
It is a really good film. It's directed by the guy who did. If you ever saw this film called, I've got one of his films here on the list. If you've ever seen that film Blue Ruin, it's directed by the same guy.
I haven't seen that one.
That was another good film that he did because that's like a revenge film. I ain't seen it myself yet, but I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. But I did see one of his earlier films he did, which was a horror comedy called Murder Party, which was pretty hilarious. Another film that I'd probably recommend if you like this kind of stuff. There's this zombie horror flick called Pandemic, and it's like I wouldn't say it's a found footage movie because it's kind of done in like a first person perspective. You know, like how they did that scene in Doom where the film was in first person, and then you had that film Maniac, the remake one, which was seen through the killer's eyes. And recently you had a film called Hardcore Henry, which was literally the whole film in the guy's eyes, like a first-person view. Well, this film is like that in terms of the camera style, but it's about this pandemic that has infected a good portion of the world, and it's up to this team of scientists and soldiers to try and find a cure, and they have to go into this infected area of Los Angeles, which is like swarming with like infected people. But these are not like your average zombies. There's like a few stages to each one. You got your basic infected who are still like aware like we are, but they still have a little bit of a murderous tendency and will eat you at the first chance they get. But they also are good at organizing attacks. You got your stage 2 ones, which are pretty far gone, but the worst ones is like the stage 5 ones that only come out at night, and they're the more vicious ones. And the further they go in to the city, the more dangerous the shit gets. And it takes a while for it to build up, but when it does kick off, that's when things get interesting. There's quite a nice little shocker at the end of the film too. So if you like the found footage type movies or an interesting zombie flick that's got something different, I'd recommend that one. It's actually starring one of the cast members that was in the remake of Dawn of the Dead. It was the one that had the one that was hanging out with that woman that was pregnant. Remember that bit from the Dawn of the Dead remake? That guy. He's in that film as well. As far as films coming out that's worth seeing, there's actually maybe 2 or 3 that's coming out later that I want to see. There's this film out called Don't Breathe, which is a horror film. It's directed by the guy who did the remake of Evil Dead, and it's about this teenage delinquent living with her neglectful parents, and she promises her younger sister to move away with her, looking for the right amount of cash to run away with in order to do so. So her boyfriend convinces her boyfriend to break into this guy's house, who happens to be blind. But this blind dude is also a serial killer, and he's got the whole house rigged with like sonar sensors so he can see where they are, even though he's blind. And they have to try not to make a sound and try and get out of the house unless they want to get killed by this guy. That's what I know about it so far, but it looks pretty fucking suspenseful. And
I was just going to say, that sounds really good, that does actually. I like the idea of that, like a blind man who can track him down with sonar. I like that.
Yeah. It looks pretty good too. I mean, the guy who's playing the killer is actually the guy who played as that army general in Avatar. That's who's playing the killer, and the cast member who's the main lead female cast is the same.
Lang?
Yeah, that's who's playing the blind man.
Oh.
Good
And
casting.
the main female cast member is the woman that was in the remake of Evil Dead, who was the leading role in that. And another film I'd recommend, I know Kat's not much of a Stephen King fan, but this film I've actually been waiting to see them make into a film, and that was this film called Cell. And if you guys haven't heard of it, it's actually based on this novel where in the future you got, somewhere in the modern day, there's this outbreak that happens where people who have mobile phones, there's this weird phone signal, and it makes them, when they listen into it, it sends a signal into their heads, and they all of a sudden turn into these like mindless, psychotic killers, almost zombie-like. And I thought, because I read the book and I thought, man, this is pretty good. And when I heard they were turning it into a movie, there was a couple of people they were going to get involved. I mean, originally they had Eli Roth attached to it, but he pulled out in 2008, so it ended up in limbo for another couple of years. And then they eventually found a director, and the guy who's directing it is the guy who did Paranormal Activity 2. So I'm actually looking forward to...
Eli Roth produced that movie, The Sacrament, that I was talking about.
Yeah, he did produce that one too, and he also produced that remake of Cabin Fever, which I might have a look at. I know people have been saying, "Oh, it sucks" and all that, but I'm willing to check it out and then another side for myself, you know.
I think people said the problem was it's just like the original, but with a lot of the over-the-top wacky humour sort of took out of it.
Yeah, and they made it into like a full-on horror.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm not complaining about the original Cabin Fever film. I thought that was good, but I thought the comedy side of it kind of deviated from an interesting horror concept. So, yeah, just like they did with Green Inferno, you know, they had that seriousness to it, and after that guy got chopped up, they all went to this like goofy comedy approach. I guess they did that to try and ease people into watching the rest of it after seeing something that's so, you know, gruesome, like a guy getting chopped up like that. Somebody has an angry dog.
That's my dog barking at the cat again.
He's like, fuck off, this is my territory.
I know, she's a bugger for that.
Oh my god, I almost sound like Vince McMahon. But yeah.
You were talking about that signal. That reminded me of a movie called The Signal. I just want to throw that in there. There's a movie called The Signal that's really, really good, so look that up.
Yeah, I did see that one back in 2007 when they first saw it. I thought it was a pretty good film.
Yeah. And the idea about a cell phone that drives people crazy, that kind of reminds me a bit of a Kingsman of the Secret Service, where Samuel Jackson's plot is to have everyone kill each other from a cell phone signal.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if something like that happens for real, but you never know. But yeah, Kat was mentioning about a film that I brought up called Re-Kill, which I did have my eye on for a couple of years. And this film was actually made in 2008, and it was only recently that they finally released it. And I've been wanting to see that film for a while, but it's like a found footage movie with this military unit that goes into these zombie infected areas, and it's just a non-stop
zombies
shooting.
again?
Yeah. But it's got Scott Adkins in it, the guy who was in Expendables 2 that was with Van Damme on there.
Okay. I'm just tired of zombie movies.
Most people are, some ain't. I guess I'm one of those that just tries to find something worth watching. But I'm a little more picky when it comes to zombie movies nowadays. It's either got to be something that I'll enjoy watching. There's things that I'll like in a film like that, and things that I don't like. But I guess when it comes to zombie stuff at the moment, it's all about The Walking Dead for me.
Yeah, I think I remember you showing me the thing for Re-Kill. It's like a really, is this supposed like an ultra-violent film, if I remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing the DVD for that on Amazon. I need to see that.
Yeah. It was directed by the guy who he actually went on later on to direct Wrong Turn 6. It was a Russian filmmaker. But he also did a film before that called Cold Red, which, sorry, Cat, was another zombie film.
They made 6 Wrong Turn films. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I got all 6.
Wow.
I think I stopped at 3. I didn't know there was any more than 3 Wrong Turn films.
No, there's 6 of them. Part 4 was a prequel, and so was Part 5. I don't know what the hell Part 6 was, because that one I didn't go very much on. It was a very slow burner film. It was all over the fucking place. I think when it comes to the Wrong Turn movies that are totally worth watching, I would probably say the best one would be Part 2, because they upped the ante of the first movie. Anything that was good about the first movie, they took that and times it by 10 with the sequel.
I'm pretty sure
Henry Rollins in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, go ahead, Philip.
Oh, sorry. I'm pretty sure Wrong Turn 1 was directed by a guy called Alan McElroy. I think I might pronounce it wrong. I know he wrote the script for that 1995 Spawn film, and and The Marine, I think. Oh, and Halloween 4.
I'll check what directed Wrong Turn. Let me just find out.
Also, speaking of Halloween, I believe the director of Omen 4 was the director of Halloween 5.
Yeah, I think that part is true. It was directed. The Wrong Turn movie was directed by Rob Schmidt, but you're right about who was writing the Wrong Turn film.
Ah.
He did write the script for Halloween 4, and then he did. Fucking no, he did Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Uncredited. I didn't know that.
Unless he did rewrite.
Must have. Oh yeah, he did the screenplay and story for Spawn, so that's true. Oh god, I can't believe he fucking did The Marine. Are you kidding me? Fuck out of here. If people like watching the movie, that's fine. I'm not gonna complain if you like watching that movie, but it's just it's not for me, that series. It's just totally not for me. Nothing against action movies, but it's just that it just wasn't that good. Oh yeah, I forgot. There was another film I wanted to see as well, and that was it's a new Rob Zombie film called 31. You guys ever heard of that one?
I think I remember you mentioning it a while back. They haven't really talked about that much. It's like that other one he made, Lords of Salem. It's like Rob Zombie films are sort of given very low exposure nowadays.
Yeah.
I saw a trailer though for 31.
I've yet to see the trailer for it. What's it like?
It's creepy.
Cool, because I did
so much. It doesn't give away, but it's like people are being. There's a bunch of people trapped somewhere. They're being stalked by these crazy clowns.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures on IMDb. Oh my god, is that Malcolm McDowell? Dude, he looks fucking creepy.
Because if he's in it, I'm definitely gonna see it.
I've got a picture of what he looks like in this movie. I'm gonna put it in the chat box here. Hang on. Just took a look and I was just like, what the fuck? There you go. It's up there.
Have a look.
But from what I've been reading on it, it looks like this film received an NC-17 rating twice. So they had to cut it down just to get an R rating. So chances are, for me, I'm just going to wait for the unrated version to come on DVD.
You know, Malcolm McDowell looks like a psychotic Mozart.
Psychotic would be an understatement.
Psychotic Mozart.
And there's another thing I've heard as well, is that Rob Zombie's actually considering the idea of doing a prequel to Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses.
Dang, enough and it's enough of that. Ugh.
Are you kidding me? I fucking love Devil's Rejects. That was one of my favorite horror films.
I like it, but enough is enough of those people killing everyone.
I think some of the fans that liked the movie, they wanted to know how these guys got together, because let's face it, they're not from the same family tree. They all got together somehow, and I think a lot of people, some of the people wanted to know how they got together. I'm actually quite interested to see how that happens too.
Yeah, I bet it'd be freaking crazy as shit, man. I look forward to it.
Well, if it's a Rob Zombie movie, you know it's going to be nuts.
Mental institution.
It wouldn't surprise me if they all came from there. So, all right, man. What's your thoughts on John Carpenter coming back doing another Halloween movie?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's back as the executive producer, and they have got another studio taking over. It's Blumhouse Pictures, and they're the guys that did The Conjuring, Town That Dreaded Sundown, the Purge movies, Sinister. So they got the right people involved in getting it back on track. And there's also a
first I heard.
Yeah, I remember reading about it, and I thought, well, shit. I'm glad that they brought back Halloween, but to have John Carpenter back on board, it's like, man, hell just froze over.
You can't go wrong with the original guy who created it. I just hope they actually give him freedom, because I remember one of the problems with Clive Barker was he was given executive producer on Hellraiser 4, but he said he had no creative control. He was just there just for the name. And I hope they don't do that with Carpenter. I hope they do actually listen to his ideas and go with what he wants.
From what I understand is that not only is he the executive producer, but he's also a creative consultant. So I'm guessing he's got some creative control in this.
That's good to hear. I'm intrigued to see that, because I mean it can't be as bad as Resurrection. You know.
Oh man.
Freaking Buster Rhymes doing martial arts against Michael Myers. It's like, you just know.
How did that happen?
And apparently, I remember reading something interesting that Rob Zombie, when he was asked to write the next Halloween film, they wanted it to be Halloween in space. That's what they wanted him to write.
And that's when he turned around and said, fuck that, I ain't doing that.
What was that they wanted?
They wanted
him to have Michael Myers in space, like they did with Jason.
Oh God!
And then that's when Rob Zombie said, "No, let's just remake it."
Which I did think he did a pretty good job with.
Yeah, I mean, freaking Michael Myers in space. That'd make as much sense as Freddy in space.
Can you imagine if they do that?
Jason in space.
That was actually not bad, but Jason in space, a little outlandish.
Yeah, I think they said they just made it as a bit of fun, but it was goofy. They
did that though to buy them some time for when they do Freddy versus Jason, but I was really pissed off that Kane Hodder wasn't involved. From what I heard, it was the director's fault why Kane Hodder didn't come back for it, because he didn't want Kane Hodder in there. Wow. He wanted somebody else in there, so the guy he got was the guy who was the stunt guy in Friday the 13th part. He was the poor bastard who got tossed into that mirror in the diner.
Yeah, that's the guy. He also played a werewolf in a film called Bad Moon, directed by Eric Red, who did The Hitcher, the original one. That's a really good film. That is good werewolf effects.
He was also the main villain in Wrong Turn 2.
Ah.
In what 2?
He was in Wrong Turn too.
Wrong Turn.
Yeah.
What's that?
No, Wrong Turn. The horror film Wrong Turn.
Oh, Wrong Turn. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the big dude with the bow and arrow. So that one as well. There's even talk of a Friday the 13th prequel. I think I actually was telling you about that, Phil, a while ago.
Yeah, that it's going to go into into the depths of his family and with his dad and whatnot. That'd be interesting. I mean, can't be as because, like I said, I don't know. I can't really remember the what's it? It was like a reboot sequel, wasn't it? The one that came out.
The 2009 one.
When was that? That was it. Yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah, 7 years ago. I actually went to see that in the cinema.
Seen that in the cinema as well. It was alright. I had to laugh at one of my friends though. You know, his face during the sex scenes. It was like, duh.
Yeah, you have sex in Camp Crystal Lake, you're screwed.
To do more creative stuff though, new stuff, rather than making like reboots of the same old stuff or like part 20 of the same thing. I like it when they come up with creative new stuff, like Cabin in the Woods, and know, when the Hellraiser came out, that was like brand new at the time. And
yeah, but this is the thing with Hollywood as of late. They will not take a chance on flogging a shitload of money out to a film that they are afraid may not make the money they've thrown at it. So that's why they keep on making sequels and reboots, not just horror movies, but other movies too, because they know they know it has a fan base, and they know it's an instant moneymaker, no matter how much it makes.
Yeah.
Unless it's a total shit bomb, then it's a different story. Yeah. You know, like Ghostbusters.
I was about to say that fucking Ghostbusters, man. Oh, if that movie makes money, fuck help us.
Here's the thing, right? Nothing against female cast members, and hats off to them for being involved, but an all female cast of Ghostbusters, I just feel like it's not going to work. It doesn't feel like a Ghostbusters movie to me.
No.
And I think that's why a lot of people thumbs down the trailer. Yeah.
It would also help if you had a better script, and the director calling Ghostbusters fans arseholes isn't exactly helping.
No, he shouldn't have done that. He really shouldn't have done that. He's not going to win people over with that.
That sounds like what they do with the WWE. The fans.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I don't know where I saw this. There is something coming out that has like a bunch of different like main stars from horror movies, like Robert Englund.
Oh shit! I know the one you're talking about. I forgot the name of it, but people are saying it's like the Expendables of horror movies.
I want to see that. The guy who played Pinhead was in that. Doug Bradley. He's going to be in it. A whole bunch of other people.
Yeah, Kane Hodder's in it too. I got my eye on that one.
Definitely give that a look.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can look that up. Give me a second. I'll get the bloody name of it. Be right back.
Philip, do you have any recommendations of movies that we should check out?
Oh, definitely. One that's definitely worth checking out is a horror movie from 1987 called White of the Eye. A sort of psychological thriller done in the style of an Italian giallo film, which were like the works of Dario Argento. And it's sort of like this weird sort of film about this loving father in the Arizona desert, who's also a complete psychopathic killer who brutally murders women in a sort of Native American ritualistic killing. And it's got a lot of style to it because it was directed by a man called Donald Cammell, a British artist. British artist who became a director and made probably the most famous cult movie of all, Performance, with Mick Jagger and James Fox. But yeah, he had a real tough career. Like I said, he only ever directed 4 films before shooting himself.
Yeah.
But White of the Eye, yeah, it's got some really stylish kills, and one of them probably being, I'm not going to spoil too much, but one of the most stylish kills is when the killer ties a woman up, puts her in a bathtub, drowns her, and then puts a mirror in front of her to watch herself die.
Oh, you said it was
Which is actually, it is a sort of, it's like a, kind of like a slasher film.
Didn't you say it was Dario Argento style?
Yeah, because there's like really hyper stylized kills, like because one of the things of Argento's films is always someone's head being smashed through a window, and Donald Cameron sort of replicates that. But yeah, the whole mirror thing, oddly enough, reflects Donald Cameron's own fascination with death, because when he shot himself, he actually asked his wife to bring him a mirror so he could watch himself die, and apparently he was happy.
About the name of that film.
White of the Eye.
It's called Death House. This one, the one that Kat was talking about. It's got I got the names. I got the list of people that's in it. It's got Tony Todd, Dee Wallace, Barbara Crampton, Kane Hodder, Michael Berryman, Sid Haig, Bill Moseley, Lindsay Hartley, Lloyd Cuff. Fuck it, that's it.
I'll definitely give that a watch.
Yes, me too.
Just posted the IMDb link on the chat box. It's side.
When's it coming out?
It says October this year. There's no exact date though. But when you don't have an exact day, I'll probably take a while. If it does come out this October, cool. If not, probably be early next year, no doubt.
Definitely keep me eyes peeled out.
Yeah.
That's gonna be badass.
It was actually written by Gunnar Hansen as well.
Leatherface, wow.
Yeah, before he passed away.
God rest his soul.
Any more, Phillip?
Was that?
Any more?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Another one is it's sort of it's kind of like a horror. It's like a horror thriller called The Fourth Man, directed by Paul Verhoeven, who would go on to do RoboCop back in '83. It's kind of like a precursor to Basic Instinct in some ways, because it's about this author who meets this seductive woman who invites him over to her place, and then but unlike Basic Instinct, where it's pretty obvious Sharon Stone is the killer, in this one you're never sure if she is the killer or if it's because he's an author, his imagination has gone into overdrive and he thinks she's a killer because she's had 3 husbands who have all died, and he may be the 4th man. He may be the next victim and it's got like these really weird and psychedelic and crazy fantasy sequences, like one where a peephole in a door turns into an eye, and then the eye pops out in a gush of blood. It's like completely crazy, and probably one of the most standout scenes is where the character dreams of the woman castrating him with a pair of scissors.
Ugh.
Because one thing with Verhoeven is he's not shy, especially with his Dutch films, he wasn't shy to show male frontal nudity. And there's a lot of, like I said, it's completely crazy. Actually, I would actually say it's probably one of his best films of his Dutch era, before going off to Hollywood and doing Flesh and Blood, and then RoboCop and all those other great films. I could list them all. But yeah, apparently
Hollow Man.
That was it. But that was funny. That was his. I believe that was his last Hollywood film. I don't know if he had a bad experience doing that, because then he went back to Holland again and made The Black Book. And
yeah, I read about that.
And apparently he's just done a film recently called Ellie, I think, ELLE, which is supposed to be like a psychological thriller. That looks pretty good. I look forward to seeing
I saw that. I didn't see the movie, but I saw that's one of the ones out on Netflix.
Ellie, it's on Netflix. Cool.
Fourth Man, I'll have to look that up and see. That sounds interesting. Any more, Philip?
Can't think at the moment. Any of you, Paul or Ambrosia, that's got any others?
Probably those ones I just mentioned at the moment, but I'm just looking to see if there's any other stuff that might be around. I'm just seeing if I know that Ash versus Evil Dead's going to finally hit DVD in August, which is
That's
something
awesome. You'll
I've
love
been
it.
waiting to watch that one because they did show it on TV over here, but I didn't have Virgin Media. I got Sky, so no way I was able to watch it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. About time freaking Ash versus the Evil Dead came out here. Fuck me.
Oh shit! You guys remember Critters?
They're doing a remake.
No, there's a TV series of it coming out next year.
Oh, good God! No.
Oh,
I'm just browsing through it. I just sees it. I thought, what?
Did you
When did
know
that
that
happen?
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yep, that was one of his first roles. Critters 3, You Are What They Eat.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Oh, brother.
Next thing
There's
you know,
even a Killer Clowns from Outer Space sequel.
yeah, that was
Nice.
it. Critters 4, fucking hell. Another one where they go to space.
They always bloody go in space one way or another, don't they? Fucking Pinhead
I
went there.
know, right?
It's like Pinhead's gone there, Jason's gone there, fucking Leprechaun's gone there.
The Leprechaun.
Yeah, the fourth movie that was in space too. So it's like, oh shit!
I suppose Leatherface hasn't gone to space yet.
Don't give them ideas.
Oh,
Horror comedies are funny too. I mean, like, my husband brought this up last night too. He said, "What was that movie we watched that one time where it was like near the water and these balls of tentacles were rolling around and they were in a bar?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah," but I couldn't think of the title. I cannot remember the title. They were, I think it was like Scottish or Irish or something, and it was a small town, an island, and these creatures with tentacles were, you know,
Is that
killing
the Bay?
No. They
No,
were
what it
killing
was.
everybody, and then all these. It was a comedy though, and then
Ah.
these villagers were like holed up in this bar. Dang. I
sounds
can't remember who was in it, or I would look it up.
Shit, this one missed my radar.
It was funny and good. And it was like a good scares in it too. Like not really scares, but like there was action in it. It was like a fun movie.
kind of like Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, Shaun of the Dead, yeah. Remember that scene? I'm sorry, but this scene to me was hilarious. Everybody just looks at me whenever I say this, and I'm like, you'd have to see it. You would have to see it. But remember that scene where they're like all in the playground and they're all trying to figure out what to do? And Sean is frustrated. And he's like,
when they're trying to mimic the zombies and
no,
Simon Pegg. Huh?
Nope, they're not. They're in all the people that are trying to escape. They're in this playground with this fence around it.
Yeah.
And they're all like freaking out, and they're like, "What's going on now?" And Sean's kind of like, from what I remember, he's kind of like, "Well," and he says this real sarcastically. He goes, "Well, let me see." And he goes to the sliding board, and he climbs up the ladder of the sliding board. And is looking out over the fence to see what's going on. But the thing is when he climbs the sliding board, his steps are exaggerated. So it looks really funny.
Oh, I need to see that again.
I mean, they're in this situation, and he's like climbing a sliding board. I don't know. I thought that was hysterical.
Fuck. Oh man, I haven't seen that in years. I need to watch that again. I got the DVD. Oh, fuck me. I remember me and my brother saw that on DVD years back, fucking pissed ourselves.
Remember when they were seeing, and I think one of the guys that was in Shaun of the Dead was actually, he had a part in Guardians of the Galaxy. Remember when they were playing that record and they're like dancing and everything, and the roommate comes storming down, and he takes the album and he throws it out the window.
Oh yeah.
Funny.
And I think he did the dubbing for Darth Maul in episode 1. That bloke did the roommate. Yes, everyone's favourite Star Wars movie. But yeah, another film, actually, I've just thought of one that I'm actually looking forward to seeing. I don't know if that comes out, I think it comes out next year. It's Alien Covenant. I'm actually intrigued to see that.
Oh.
The sequel to Prometheus.
Yeah, that's coming out in 2017, isn't it?
And I remember Ridley Scott saying it's going to have a hard R, so I'm intrigued to see what exactly is going to happen to get that rating.
Well, I'm guessing if it's going to be a hard-edged R-rated movie, I'm guessing the budget's going to be at least just on or below 100 million, because you know the studios are not going to risk an R-rated movie with that kind of big money.
Yeah, and then there's also Alien 5. That'll be intriguing. The retcon.
Oh yeah.
Hey, some other movies that were recommended a lot that I have on my watch list on Netflix was Last Shift, Let Us Pray, that's Prey.
Let Us Pray.
This movie
Is that the one where they're in that police station?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one. There's actually 2 other different versions of that film as well.
Last Shift.
Yeah, there's one that had Robert Englund in it, and then there was another one that had Val Kilmer in it. Same concept, but done differently.
I didn't see those. But then there's another one that's highly recommended called Christie, Mahalo, American Mary.
Oh, American Mary, that's a fucked up movie. That's done by the Soska twins.
Would You Rather? High Lane is another one. And let's see, there's some more here at the end of this list. My husband put a whole bunch of shit on his list, so I have to scroll through it. Some of these he put on, I just want to delete. I'm like, what the hell did he put this shit on here? Okay, Troll Hunter. That's it. That's all I have that so far that was recommended. Oh, The Conspiracy.
Conspiracy? You seen that one, Phil?
I haven't seen that. Is that I'm taking it's like a horror thriller?
It's a found footage horror thriller, yeah.
I'm looking up right now on IMDb.
They do a lot of them, don't they? Found footage films.
Yeah.
I like found footage movies, to be honest with you.
They're not bad.
Some of them are good.
Some can get under my skin, and some don't. Like I said, Blair Witch Project freaked me out as a kid. It's that last shot of that. I mean, you don't even see the Blair Witch, but that last shot, that guy staring at the wall with his back to the camera is just fucking creepy as fuck.
It is.
I actually went to the midnight launch of that film back in '99. Me and a few friends, we went to see that, and that was a creepy movie.
Yes, it was.
I mean, that was the film that made the found footage genre famous. But the first found footage movie that most people remember would probably be Cannibal Holocaust, right? Yeah.
And interesting enough, Ruggiero Deodato, who made Cannibal Holocaust, did his own sort of Jim Jones massacre-esque film called Cut and Run back in '85.
Oh, you know, I remember that. Is that the one that got Michael Berryman in it? Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, years ago I saw that.
And they are making another Blair Witch, by the way, I read up.
Oh.
It's on one of those lists that they made on YouTube saying, well, not YouTube, I think it was Looper, saying movies that are not necessary, we don't want another one.
Well, after the shit bomb that was Book of Shadows, I'm just hoping they don't do another one.
No, that was shit.
Apparently the director said it was the studio's fault because they apparently butchered his film and added a lot of unnecessary shit to it. Like I said, it was different, but it definitely killed all the respect that the first film had.
It didn't make any friggin' sense.
I think it was supposed to be like I don't know, was it supposed to be like a film within a film or some shit? It was like Crazy. I suppose it's better than making another fan footage film, I guess, because then that would have probably not made. But although actually, maybe that would have been better.
Well, it looks like they're remaking it.
Oh, the clown.
See
Yeah.
that? No, I'm just like, no. No, thank
No.
you.
And the guy who's I know who's playing Pennywise is some Swedish actor called Bill Skarsgård. He's only 26, by the way.
Yeah, if you want to know who he is, watch the movie We're the Millers.
Yeah.
The comedy We're the Millers. He played the boy in that.
That's who's playing Pennywise. It looks like. Who's the guy directing? Hang on, let me see who's directing this.
Because I know the original director left because of creative differences with New Line Cinema. They cut the budget in half, so he left, and they've completely changed his script now with the other director.
Okay, the guy who's directing the remake of It is actually the same guy who directed some other horror film called Mama.
Oh, Mama.
Oh my God, I recommend that.
Well, if he's involved in making it, then surely this remake of It might be alright.
Could be.
Neither of you saw Mama?
I saw it on Sky a while ago.
Yeah, it was weird. It definitely had a Guillermo del Toro feel to it.
It did.
Which, seen Crimson Peak, that recent del Toro film.
Did you see that? Because I saw that also.
Yeah, it was alright. A bit.
It was just okay.
Yeah, it was alright. The ghost effects looked good. I think the problem was that the ghost stuff and the human stuff was so disconnected that there was no need for the ghost stuff, really, actually. I think Del Toro just got a little bit too lost in the visuals with that one.
Yeah. And then that guy that played the, what's his name?
Loki.
Yeah, but what's the name of the Tom Hiddleston?
That's it. That's the guy.
Same damn character in every movie he's in.
Yeah, I think he's been typecast since being in the Avengers.
Yeah, he's been stuck with it.
Did you ever get to see High Rise yet, Philip?
Not yet. I don't think it's been shown in the cinema around my end. I'll probably have to wait for the DVD release.
It is on DVD.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's available on demand, so it's on DVD.
Huh. I haven't seen it unless it's not out in the UK yet. I'll have a check because usually they put the new releases out. Is that look? No, it's not out here until the 18th of July.
I've been dying to discuss that.
It's not out here yet, yeah.
And listen, I want to suggest to some good. I mean, have you noticed that lately they're getting really good about putting out quality horror television series?
Yeah, like the Exorcist one they've been releasing lately? Or they're planning on to?
I mean, I really do think that, I don't know why that's the trend. I mean, they're so afraid of horror in the cinema, they don't want to, take a chance on it, but yet it's all over television.
That's why Walking Dead's so damn successful.
It's creative, too. I mean, it's like these shows that have been out, okay, you've got Damien, and then you have this Preacher, which is awesome, based on the graphic novel Preacher.
Yeah.
That is really well done. And then there's this new one on Cinemax called Outcast, which I've been watching, that is really awesome, and it's a scary one. And then you have Penny Dreadful.
Yeah, I did see an episode of that one time on Fox.
Well, Penny Dreadful is on Showtime or Stars or something.
Yeah.
And Outcast is on Cinemax, but all the others are on regular television. I mean, look, American Horror Story. They're putting out a lot of horror. Ash versus Evil Dead.
Which I still yet to see.
I didn't see that.
It's a trend, but I like it because these are not crap. They're actually pretty good. Remember how we were talking about how the shows back in the 80s, Friday the 13th, the series, Poltergeist, they were all crap.
Yeah. It's like the tables have turned.
What's that TV series of Scream like? Because I know they've turned that into a TV show, but I've not seen it.
I haven't checked it out yet. I haven't watched it yet. I'm kind of leery about that.
I think reviews have been mixed for that one.
I think they're on season 2 now. Let me just see what's going on.
I don't want to
Yeah,
watch a movie with a bunch of teenagers. I mean, not a movie, a TV series.
yeah. Well, it looks like they've already got a second season that's been out since May 30th. They've only just started it again. But
Oh yeah, I think
uh,
George A.
I don't.
Romero. I think George A. Romero is planning to do a TV series, Empire of the Dead.
Yeah, that's the one that's based on that comics, isn't it?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Like I
because
said,
I did hear a rumor going around that George Romero's son's going to take over the Dead movies when he's gone.
mm, but then, like I said, I think no offense to George A. Romero, but I know that the last three films that he did apparently weren't as good as the original trilogy. Maybe,
Planet of the Dead was not bad, but they should have kept that story arc going.
what the
Instead, they
director
went
did.
back to ground zero with Diary and Survival, which I
Oh.
felt hurt its chances.
Yeah, Land wasn't too bad. Yeah, I haven't seen Diary or Survivor. I've been sort of iffy about that. I know George A. Romero doesn't think much of The Walking Dead, so this TV series might be his like rival to that.
Not a fan of The Walking Dead, man. That's a
No,
shocker.
I forgot what it was now. I think he said that there was an interview with him about it, and I think he said there was. I know he didn't think much of the Resident Evil films either. I don't think. I think he felt it was too modernised. It lost some of the character of his films. I can't remember now exactly what he said in that interview.
They can't keep doing the same George Romero formula on every zombie movie, because that's why it would just fall flat on his face.
I'll tell you why Walking Dead sucks. Two
Oh
words.
shit.
2 words. Norman Reedus.
Oh fuck on. Really?
I hate him. Look, I've never watched Walking Dead. I'm just joking. But I do not like. I've seen Norman Reedus in tons of stuff, and I do not like him.
The only thing I ever saw him in was Blade 2.
That was the first film I ever saw, man.
I saw that bit though when it's not a dud.
Yeah, and he's like, oh shit. Boom.
Listen, though, if there's anybody out there, okay, in YouTube land, that has some good ideas for movies that I think that we might want to check out, I would love to hear it. I would love you to put it in the comment section, because I'm always looking for good horror. I'm like a horror connoisseur. So please give me your suggestions.
Sounds fair.
And I would like to thank Phillip and Paul for joining me today.
It's been a pleasure.
It's cool.
To people that love horror. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just said it's cool.
Yeah, because not many people, really like horror as much as I do, So.
Well, we've been watching horror movies since we were kids. Especially me and Phil's been watching them since we were kids. I've been watching them since I was a kid, and there's always, with all the horror movies that come out, most of them are not that good, but there are some that turn out to be really good. Even if somebody doesn't like the ones that somebody would recommend, it's each to their own, basically.
Yes.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah. It is.
I mean, people have their likes and dislikes when it comes to horror movies. Me, I like, the kind of horror movies I like. So.
Yeah. What's your icon from? Your picture there.
Oh, that? That is actually from an album by Exodus called Exhibit B, The Human Condition.
Wow, that's cool.
Came out in 2010 as a fucking hardcore album. It was the last album that Rob Dukes did before Zetro came back with the album they did recently called Blood In, Blood Out. And I saw Exodus live recently in March, and I'll tell you what, if their mosh pits at their gigs is fucking crazy. When Toxic Wolf starts playing, bodies get thrown everywhere. It was a good gig. I enjoyed it, but got a little battered in the process, but that's what happens.
That could be dangerous, that moshing.
Go look up a video of one of their gigs. I'll actually send you a link to one of the gigs that I seen, which I was at, so you can get an idea what it's like, I'll do that off air, of course.
You could really get creamed.
Well, I got a scar on my nose to prove it from the last gig, so about a decade ago. Went to see Cannibal Corpse in 2002, and things got a little crazy, and I didn't realize that I got caught by somebody's fucking elbow, and the next thing I know, I got this big gash right across the bottom part of my nose, and I was just like, oh, I wonder who's bleeding, and I touched my nose and realized I got a big chunk of skin sticking out of the side of my nose, and I thought, oh shit, this ain't good.
Well,
And the guy was like, dude, you gonna get to the hospital? I said, nah, fuck that, I'm gonna carry on having fun at the gig, I'll go see the doctor after.
I think you should have wounds and scars when you come out of a concert of somebody named Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah, gigs like that. If you go to a Cannibal Corpse gig, a Slayer gig, Exodus, or any of those other gigs, trust me, those are the three main bands where crazy shit happens in the mosh pit.
Did you ever
Especially when Slayer's playing. I mean, holy fuck, that just goes on from start to finish.
This discussion reminds me of something. Did you ever watch that Adult Swim animated thing called Metalocalypse?
I never missed an episode. I got all three of their albums too.
What really, I don't know, this should not be hilarious, okay? This is sick. But what was funny to me was every damn concert they have, I don't know how they had any fans, because every freaking concert they had, everybody in the audience got killed. I mean, they got, like, mutilated and blown up and chopped up and always
that was one of the things that made it hilarious.
I mean, you shouldn't laugh at that. You just should not laugh at that, but yet somehow that was hilarious to me.
Oh, it was a fun show. I missed that show. I wish they'd do a final season or at least have a movie to close it. You know? I know they did that hour special, but I would love to see them do a full feature.
You know how they sing that really hard heavy metal song at the beginning of Metalocalypse for the theme?
Yeah.
We put on subtitles. You look at the words.
Yeah.
And that was a laugh riot because it's this hard-ass heavy metal song, but when you look at these words, they're going like doodly-doo, doodly-doo. But you can't understand that because they're going so like heavy on it, you know, and thrash metal. But they're saying these little gay-ass words like doodly-doo, doodly-doo.
My favorite track they did, which was on the start of season 2, was Laser Cannon Death Sentence. And you got all those prisoners strapped to the missiles, and they just blast them out of the fucking sky with the massive walker thing they were on the stage of.
Yep.
Well, that was cool.
That's them for you.
Man, if there was ever a Metalocalypse concert in real life, I'd fucking go. I didn't care.
We need you, Paul. We don't want you to be mutilated.
Don't worry about it. At least I died at something I enjoyed doing.
You can watch it on pay-per-view instead of actually going to be there.
Oh, where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in watching it on TV when you can be fucking right there?
Remember when the one was eating all that candy? I forget which episode it was. He was eating all that candy, and then he did that, like, commercial, and he was talking about himself, and he's laying there on a cliff, and he goes, and when I'm not in a diabetic coma, I like to, and he's saying what he likes to do, but the first thing he said was, when I'm not in a diabetic coma. Things like this should not be funny.
I remember the one episode where Pickle's former band, Snakes and Barrels, gets back together again, and you got that one obnoxious member in the crowd who's screaming in Toki Wartooth's ear, and then the next thing you know, he's just absolutely beating the living piss out of him. And meanwhile, in the back, you got Dr. Roscoe, who just kicked the habit of cocaine, and here he is stuffing his face with fucking pie and cocaine and everything. I'm just like, oh shit, he's lost it. Yeah.
Oh, that clown was hilarious.
And then you got William Murderface, who's pissed off at Toki because he stole his IP domain. He's like, Toki, I'll kill you, motherfucker! And then he sees Toki beating the shit out of this guy, and then Toki turns around and is like, what the fuck do you want, motherfucker? What's up, bro?
How about when that clown guy, he's walking around, he goes, look, little girl, cocaine. Remember? He's walking around with cocaine, and then he goes, look, police officer. Oh.
Fucking do that cocaine on the brain, man.
He almost told the police officers he had cocaine, and then he realized he's like, oh.
Yeah. It was just like, oh shit. He was nuts, man. Alright.
Well, I do want to thank you guys for being on my show, and I'd like to thank anybody who stopped by for stopping by. And I'm going to try to write some of these things. I'm going to try to remember and put the names of these movies that we recommended down in the description box.
Oh, Green Room's one of them. Don't forget that.
Oh, I definitely wrote that down because I want to see that.
I think that's coming out on DVD in July. I'm pretty sure of it.
Oh, so I won't get to see it anytime soon then, huh?
Yeah.
Unless it's on demand. If it's on demand, I can see it.
I think it might be there already. No harm in checking.
I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, hopefully we can do this again sometime, right?
Yeah, we could do it again someday.
Okay, you all have a good weekend.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Laters.